Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is Hudson back here again. Before we get right into this video, I just want to share something with you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment all done, and then I can make more videos like these every single day because I am on quarantine. I have nothing really else to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to start off with number 1. Moving on to number 10, we have villagers fishing. So when we got the 1.14 update, we got a bunch of these villagers updates. We got pillagers. The villagers actually lived and worked in the village. Now they can sleep in the village. They can get crops and stuff like that. But they also introduced the fishermen, and they don't really do anything, but they go up to these barrels, and in like a texture thing, there are actually fish in the barrels. And how do they get that fish? A lot of that's been explained. How do they get their food? And then it's from the crops. How do they get armor and swords that you find at the blacksmith, and maybe around the village they get that from the blacksmith. So a lot of stuff is really explained except this. And sorry if I'm talking kind of weird. I have this big sore on the edge of my mouth. So it's kind of hard to talk loudly like I do when I'm filming this video. So sorry if I say some words wrong, maybe something like that. It's just because if I did this later and I didn't have... Okay, let's get right into it again. But especially with the new 1.15 mod coming out, or not mod, update of, the Nether. And it's really cool because the new Strider mobs... they can go across lava, and finally we have something to get around lava, except for stacking dirt or wood. Something that we've needed since the Nether has ever come out. So I'm so glad Minecraft has finally decided to add the Striders. But also one thing that I heard was the Piglins, the new mob, can actually ride the Striders. So I don't see any difference from, villagers riding boats or for them riding some brand new transportation device. But I just thought it was kind of weird why they're, the piglins can, but the villagers can't, or something like that. Another thing I want to touch on is about the boats. If they were going to introduce the boats to Minecraft, that would have been really good to do, maybe kind of the first ever kind of crossover update, kind of in between the aquatic update and the village and pillage update. Just make the docks look a little cooler. But again, like I said in the very beginning or earlier, what if they had some new form of transportation, not just boats, a new kind of way to do it, because that'd just be really cool. Boats are kind of old, they're kind of lame now. You see them every day. It's nothing like, oh, what are you gonna do in Minecraft today? Oh, I might go ride a boat. You don't say that. When they were first added, they were a really big deal. You didn't need to just swim, because that was the hardest thing to do back then. And even now it is, because of the drowns, which really make life difficult. And one other thing I want to touch on today is about there could be some way that they could add an animation where we've seen it before and if you've ever seen a villager breeder or made one, the villagers actually hold carrots, or they hold, I think it's bread, and they'll kind of throw it at each other sometimes. Sorry about my dog barking in the background, but yeah, that would be cool if they could have the fishing rod. Maybe they could even add the little fishing rod animation that the players use. That'd be really cool. So now let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have jungle villages. So there are villages in every single biome, I'm pretty sure, except for the jungle. So the jungle hasn't been a place that Mojang hasn't really touched on. They've really just added, the jungle temples. They've added ocelots. They have added, I don't even know if Ocelots are still in the game, yeah. They've added bamboo, pandas, and parrots, and that's kind of it, I'm pretty sure. And it's kind of useless besides the trees, the really tall trees, that's good. But besides that, like, it's kind of hard to make a civilization or a base or a house. Like, it's really hard to make that because of it gets really dark in the jungle because of the trees. Even sometimes during the day, I had this one seed, and like there were literally jungle trees everywhere. You could not see anything. But that'd be really cool if there was a jungle village. And Mojang did, when they announced the Village and Pillage update, they did say, and they had like a little clip of all the villagers from all the different biomes, and it showed you like, plains, it showed you desert, it showed all the different biomes, and then it showed you jungle, and there was no village, but it just was the villagers running around. So that was kind of weird because why would they add even jungle villagers? So also the jungle villagers look very different than the other villagers. They kind of had like a Tarzan sort of look, like tiger skinned sort of thing, and that kind of leads into what if Mojang adds tigers, some sort of large cat animal, maybe we could see that in kind of the savannah. But it's just kind of odd because like how, except you go into creative and spawn a villager in the jungle, there is no way you're going to find a villager in the jungle. So it was just really weird because why would they even do that? So I thought that the jungle, since all the villages look very different, they kind of had the same sort of, you could say like they kind of have the same sort of core, but their outsides aren't really the same. So, we have like the plains, it's kind of similar to our past villages. The churches are very similar, the houses are very similar. But if you compare that to the Savannah village, it looks a lot different, it uses a lot of different blocks. And then if you compare that to the desert villages, we have these tall towers. So Mojang did a very good job of making the villages all unique in their own ways, but they didn't add a jungle village. So if we really want the jungle village to be like a cool village, unique in its own way, I thought it would be really cool if we could have like little buildings in the trees. That would be really cool if like we could have a tree village, kind of like Tarzan, something like that. But yeah, a lot of people have covered this. A lot of people have asked why, and I am not sure if this. I'm probably gonna go check it today. But do you know if there are villagers in the Mesa biome? If there are villages, comment down below about any information about that. But let's move on to number 5, our last one. Moving on to number 3, we have Flat World Villagers. So you probably don't know what I'm really talking about right now. I'm not talking about the Flat World Villages, which I don't think are really in the game anymore. I'm talking about the villagers in Flat Worlds. So before the 1.14 update even came out, I had prepared a village. I made all the houses and stuff, and it was in one of my old worlds. I called it Best World because it was my best world. It was this flat, creative world. And I was really ready, and I hoped that when I placed the villagers down in the flat world, it would randomize the biome they were from. Little did I know that it was not that way, and that they were all plains. So I thought it would be really cool if it would randomize the biome that they were from. And it's already very random with their type, but you can change that because you can you can put the block down and then they'll go over and work on the block. Depends on it, like cartography tables, they become a cartographer. Then if there's I think it's the fast stove, they become an armorer, I think. But all of that would just make it really cool because the randomization, I really like randomization. I don't like it being one thing. Stuff like that I just don't like. So it'd be really cool if we could get different villagers. It'd be really cool if you could make mini biomes in the flat world. Then you could sort the villagers somehow. That'd be really cool. And yeah, that's kind of it. This one's a little bit shorter because I didn't really. Yeah, okay. Let's move on to number 4. Okay, moving on to number 2, we have more pets. So, really, all we have right now is we have the dog. I think it's technically called the wolf. We have the cat, and we have the parrot. Now, each does their like own thing. You know, the dogs, if you attack something, they'll attack that, and then they follow you all the time. The dogs are really useful. Then the cats, they can scare away creepers. I think they can also like bring you stuff back, like diamonds, and diamonds is like one of the rarer things. And then parrots, they don't really do too much, but they can alert you when there's a mob nearby. If there's like a zombie nearby, they will make a zombie noise. And sometimes it could be like underground in a cave, and it really will freak you out. You think there's a zombie in your house, you think there's a zombie in your base. So, moving on to the more pets, more side of things, it would be really cool if we saw, more pets, even things that we've seen in the game before, like foxes, or I came up with this idea like tiny snow golems that just kind of followed you around. And it would also be kind of useful because they make a trail. If you were going far distance away from your base or your house, you could go back really easily because of the snow. You could it's like kind of like Hansel and Gretel, if you ever heard that. But yeah, other mobs they could add is one thing I was going to say was more dog skins. Because the parrots have lots of skins. They have like the red, they have like the green, the blue, they have like a gray, yellow one. All types of skins. The cat just got a full like a whole horde of skins. And they used to have like 3 skins before. And but still, like, they had 3 skins. The dogs only have 1 skin. One thing that might do something for the dogs is you can dye their collars, and that's been a big thing of a lot of, like me, I can, like, tell when there weren't really name tags, or at least when I didn't know how to use name tags, I'd always make signs saying, like, the color of the dye I used for the collar, and then what dog that was. But now that there's so much to Minecraft, so many naming things, there's name tags, there's so much stuff like that. It's kind of like we almost need something new to the dogs. I feel like they haven't been updated in forever. The only thing that I've really gotten updates with is bug fixes, and that's really all they've gotten updated with. It would be really cool if we could see if, like, you went to the taiga, you'd find kind of like a German Shepherd, sort of. If you went to, let's say, the desert, you'd find kind of a kind of yellow sort of dog. If you went to the plains, you just find like, if you went to the taiga, you'd really just find the same dog that we have today. If you went to the plains, maybe you'd find like a brown or black dog. It really just depends on a lot of things. And that's really cool because I think the cats have their own like biomed skins. I know the villagers do. I know the rabbits do. I don't really know any other mobs that do. I was thinking there were hamsters in Minecraft for some reason. But, I mean, they could add hamsters. You never know. But, so, yeah, that's really all kind of about the more pets. Also, one thing, I think they should make, like, that would be really cool if we could, like, be flying around on, like, dragons. Because there used to be a thing in the game called a red dragon. It was taken out very, very early. If you say that you've seen a red dragon in Minecraft, then you are probably one of the OGs. You've probably been here before there were like infinite worlds, all that stuff. You're like literally in the old worlds. But that'd be really cool because it would kind of be better than the Elytra, because Elytras, you need to constantly be reloading on rockets. Your Elytra might break. Something like that might happen to your Elytra, and it's just, compared to the dragon, what I'm talking about now, it's very inefficient compared to the dragon. Now, right now, since there's no dragons, you can't ride any dragons. Like, the Elytras are pretty good. They're gold. Like, they are good. But compared to, like, not even just a dragon, it could be like a big bat or an animal we've never seen before. It would just be really cool if we had some other way to get around except for Elytras. And that is about the pets. Let's move on to number 3. Moving on to number 5 and our last one, we have more foods. So Mojang has done a great job of adding foods and all different types of things like that, but some of them are just questionable. Some of them don't even really matter. You can't really use them, like the chorus fruit. All it does is teleport you around. I don't even think it restores your hunger or anything like that. There's really no reason to add that. And it would be really cool if we saw like a whole new update just on, that would be really cool if we saw an update just on foods and new things like that. They could add like cupcakes. That'd be really cool if we saw cupcakes. That'd be really cool if we saw like some sort of fruit, like a banana. Maybe you could find it in the jungle, like a banana tree. But also one thing I want to point out is the jungle leaves. They actually have like little kind of berry things on them. But like every biome, a bunch of biomes kind of have their own food source. Even the Nether's getting its own food source. The End has its own food source. But there are some biomes that don't, and like natural food source, not mobs, not counting mobs. So it'd be really cool if some of these other biomes, like if we got more foods for other biomes and even adding more biomes. I'm just like thinking of maybe like the mesa could have something cool, the desert might. Really the desert, the only way to get food is to either find like some sort of cow or chicken, find a village, or there's a lot of rabbits in the desert, so kill a rabbit. And I feel like they've done really good on food, but they haven't really done good on unique types of foods that players kind of want to see. Because lately they haven't really been listening to the community that much. You can kind of tell. But they also have kind of been listening to part of the community. But they've been adding, like if we ask for something, they kind of add it in their own sort of Mojangle way. But this is kind of wrapping up. That would be really cool if we saw more foods, like more types of getting food. I know they've done on the Piglin Beast or something like that. That's in the Nether. And then the End has the chorus fruit, and then the overworld has like all types of food. Everything other than that is in the overworld. But I thought it would be really cool if they added some other foods, maybe some other mobs where you could get it from. And I also thought of a thing that would be really cool is like a recipe book. Maybe you'd find this in like a dungeon or like a village. You could and it would tell you like a recipe to maybe 1, 2, or 3 things. It would just be very simple. I think there are some mods that have more foods and they have like recipe books. And maybe even these recipe books, they couldn't just have food. They could have, ways how to craft, like a furnace or maybe a diamond sword. Because some of those things you don't know, and you need to Google it or you need to Yahoo it, you need to look it up, and it's a whole process, and it just really does not communicate. So that'd be really cool if we could have kind of recipe books, and that's kind of it for this video. So yeah, again, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment all done, and I will shout you out in our next video. Whoever likes, subscribes, and comments, and if you're already subscribed, just like the video and comment, and you will get a shout out in the next video. So yeah, it's the end of this video, and I hope you all have a great day.